Hey, what's up, everybody? Dr. Ray, and today what we're doing is we're doing a review and walkthrough of Rise, Articulate Rise. It's a piece of software I'm using professionally in my consulting firm. We've been using it for several years now. I did a review on YouTube about this software several years ago, but things have changed, so we're updating it. This is really an updated review. Rise 360 is a great piece of software that I'm using all the time. We're using Rise a lot. It's a cool piece of software, so I want to walk you through it. First thing I want to do is show you what Rise is if you're not familiar with it. I'm going to show you, let's go through, talk a little bit about the pricing, and then let's kind of go through and build a Rise module and go through all the features and stuff that it does and doesn't do. So if you see up on the screen here is Articulate Rise. This is a preview of a course that actually one of my students developed for me on UNCW esports. So at the top of the screen here, this is the preview mode. So you can see they give you like desktop, what it's going to look like on tablet or mobile device. So that's the cool thing about Rise, is that everything you develop is going to work. Now that you can see, like, it changes a little bit when you switch to the mobile device, but it is going to run on all devices. That's one of the really cool things, something my clients really like about Rise, is that it works on PC and mobile device, and it looks good on the mobile device. So you can kind of go through here and you can see, like, if you were to start a course or click like any of these modules here, and you can see it basically creates a really cool course for you. You can add in videos. Here's a video interview that I did. So you can add in like videos, different kinds of images. You can add different kinds of things that like interactivity that the users can do, but it creates a nice little course. You can have knowledge checks, different kinds of knowledge checks, But that's Articulate Rise. It has quizzes. It creates it's the total package. It creates a course for you. And I'll show you everything that Rise does. But, as we go through here, you can see it's a pretty simple development tool, powerful and nice to use. All right, so let's go through. Let me go back to the beginning. So that's kind of what it does. Oh, as far as costs, they've changed their prices and stuff, and there's a number of different, like if you're a company, freelancer, or academic, there's like different pricing plans, but you can see like the cheapest plan for an academic, and you can see like the most expensive plans, how much companies are charged. So you can kind of get a feel of like what the cost of this is. Nothing about Articulate, like their 360 package, is inexpensive. But they do give you a free 30-day trial to try it out. So like students can use it in their classes. So I can use it as like now we actually have a license for my students. So if you're in my program, we have licenses for our classes so that our students can actually use the software in classes with a full, paid for version. But if you don't, and you're just going to you want to use it in a class and you're a teacher, your students can use it for 1 month. And submit a project. So you can at least teach it to them, which I think is a super important thing. Those of you that are like e-learning developers, yeah, you only got a month and then you got to start paying. So, use that month wisely and then pay it. It is worth it because it's something that you're going to use professionally. All right, so that's about the cost. Let's get into the actual product itself. So we can see here on the screen, this is like my Articulate Rise page. You can see like I clicked Rise at the top, and these are just some sample courses because we don't use my personal account for my company or anything like that. In fact, what happens is our clients actually purchase it and use it themselves. They have their own accounts if they're going to use the software. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to create a new course. So I'm going to click New Course. Now what I can do is I can click, like they have all these templates, and let me just show you a template, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to create a blank course. They have all these templates, like tons of them. Like you can scroll down here. There's like tons of good templates. The Next Big Idea Club. Well, that sounds cool. It sounds much funner than like compliance. So let's click Next Big Idea, and you can click like, oh, these all kind of look the same, but let's just select this course. And what they're going to do, added it to my, my courses. I can click on it and I can simply go through and start to edit it. This is like the mode where I can go through and edit all the content that I would like to. So I could take this course and edit it, but like, I wonder how many people are really doing that. Like, are they really taking a course like this and editing everything? It's almost easier just to create the course yourself. To be honest with you. So I'm not sure how much people are using these templates unless like they really want like, you know, that exact content. So what we're going to do is we're going to select blank course. We select blank course and it really is an absolute blank course. And maybe that's why people choose the templates, because it's a little harder to start from blank. What we do is we give our course a title, Rise Course Intro. We describe our course. This course is an intro to Rise. And then we create our lessons, like welcome. I pressed enter to create a new one, like objectives. And really, I try to have my objectives in my welcome. So let's say unit 1, unit 2. And I'd want to describe these clearly. I'm just making up titles so that there's something here really quick, what kind of whatever pops into my head. And then we can go through and we can add content. Now I'll get to like up here, like the settings and stuff. Let's get to that at the end. So basically I've created 1, 2, 3, 4 lessons. All right. You can see like it has my name here. I can actually hide author. So it says author hidden, but let's just keep my name. What's the difference? This is a practice fun little module. So we don't care. All right. Yeah. And you can see you can like delete lessons and stuff and add them and like move them around and all that good stuff. But right now we're creating our course. So I'm going to click add content. I can create a blank lesson, use a template, or a quiz. And let's go through all of those. Let's actually start with a template. So let's take this human resources. Ooh, retirement planning. That's a topic that I love. And we're going to add that as my lesson. So now why we would want to add that as our lesson, I don't know. But really what it does is I could fill in the content. It's really like I like the template. I'm going to add my own pictures and stuff here. But they've given you like a nice template of things that you can start from. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to add content to unit 1, and we're going to click blank lesson. Now, when you click on this, notice that it's like literally like blank, like there's nothing here, like nada. You can see they have like add blocks here, and you're like, well, what is that? And then all blocks. Well, if you click all blocks, so basically what these are like all the things that you can add, but there's a lot more of them. And if you click all blocks, it's going to pop up on the left-hand side and let you be a little more specific. But if you click one, like for example, I'll click text. One of the cool things that this software does is that it automatically gives you like a dummy piece of content to work with, which is nice because it kind of like displays it. Like if I click image, it just pops up an image here. If I click video, it just pops up a video here. So you can see that's actually a really cool picture, a nice beach shot. Those look like surfable waves for me. That's a cool little roller coaster too. Well, I want to like go to the beach now. I do live at the beach, so I should go there today. All right. So anyway, so you have all this stuff here, right? You have like the image that it pops up by default. And you're like, well, I don't really want that. So first of all, you can move it up and down. You can duplicate it or you can delete it. So that's what these do. And I can choose like, how do I want the image? Like, you know, carousel, text next to image full. Like, you know, I can choose like blank text kind of thing. And that's a zoom in and zoom out. If I click edit here you can see each one of these has an edit. I click edit, and that allows me to like change the actual image itself. So like I can click edit here and replace the image. I can replace it from the content library, which are like images that you can just take by default. Or I can click edit and replace the image with something on my computer. So super easy to do. Then they give me some settings of the image, like where I can choose the position, the padding, the size, and background color, and if I enable zoom or not. Kind of cool. And each one of these has like little different features. Like I click on the video, and clearly the same things, like where I can replace the video here, and the settings are a little different. Like can they go forward in the video or not, kind of thing. What kind of padding is there, but you know, different settings based on the actual type of content. We're not going to go through each type of content and show you all the settings. You pick the content you want, but you can see some of the cool stuff they here, like process, like flashcards. I click flashcards and it's like, you know, someone can click around the screen. Like there's some cool like activities that you can do. Sorting activity. I click all blocks and we can see everything. So we've got text, statement. You can choose the type of statements that you want. Quotes. So, I mean, they give you a nice layout here. Now, one of the nice things about Rise is that they give you all these like cool layouts and things you can choose from. One of the things that's not good about Rise is it's not as customizable as something like Articulate Storyline or Adobe Captivate. So you can't like do everything in it. It's very much like restricted to the templates that they have and these options that they have. So you have to kind of work with what they give you. Um, so you have to like ask yourself, here's like some multimedia, like you can add audio, video, embed things, add attachments, code snippets, different interactives like accordions and stuff, a hotspot like label graphic, um, some options for scenarios and flashcards. They do add knowledge checks. We'll do a quiz in the next part of this. Different kinds of charts, divider like a continue button, and then the templates. But as I was saying, like you are limited to what the software does here. So you have to work around it. So what that means is that if I'm going to recommend Rise to a client, we need to be very clear about what their expectations are. I mean, you need to know that whenever you recommend software to a client. But with our Storyline or Captivate, I can do a lot more customization than I can in Rise. With Rise, it has to be a certain kind of course. They have to really want like a course like this, content presentation. All right, let's go back. And let's add another type of content. We'll add, I guess we don't need Unit 3. We're going to add a quiz here. So for quiz, you can see, and they had knowledge checks earlier, but they have actual quizzes here, and I can enter the type of question. I could choose what kind of question I want it to be. Multiple choice, multiple response, choose an answer. I can continue to add questions, different kinds, fill in the blank, matching, multiple choice. We've got our questions. We can click settings for the quiz, like what, is a required passing score? What is the passing score about, retries and stuff? So they have the important things for the quiz. So the quiz feature is nice. They do have all like the basic things I'm going to hit on, like if I were to publish this to SCORM, which I'll talk about in, publish this to an LMS, where I talk about in a little bit. These are the main things my clients request, like passing score, retries, stuff like that. And that's if you're developing the quiz in Rise. Usually when I'm developing a quiz for a client, we usually develop it in the LMS because it just is a lot prettier on the but it's a lot prettier on the admin's end to actually see everything. So a lot of times we will just put them right in the LMS. So that's the basics of adding content to Rise. Here was the template. Here was the content. As I said, click one of these and you can see like, that's a continue button. So this graphic I feel like is a poor labeled. Like continue, I feel like, are they going to like add the rest of the blocks here? But it's actually like the continue button itself. I don't really like that. I feel like it should say like continue button to be clear. I didn't like that terminology, but these are all the blocks. Everything that you can do. Pretty cool. But again, like you are limited with this stuff. Like, these are the options for text that you have. These are the options for quotes. It is good. And here's something else I do like about this is super simple. You see me developing this, like, now obviously developing good quality content is not easy, but developing in Rise, anyone can do this. It's super, it's way easier than Articulate 360 or Captivate, which I think are super easy to develop with anyway. But yeah, you have all kinds of cool options, like just lots of stuff that it does. I mean, it really does a lot of different neat things. But that's the basics. So let's take a look at this. Let's preview it. Then let's get into all these settings and talk about them. Okay, so let's preview the course that we just made. So we're going to click preview. I can click start course, which makes it super easy. Or I can make it so my users can click on any of these things. We'll just click start course. We go through the retirement planning and, we can test it on the mobile device if you would like. Just prefer it on the computer. It's easier. We go to lesson 2. This is our lesson we created, the heading. Oh, here's our bike. Oh, we can zoom in. Oh, should we watch that beach again? That was so relaxing. Ah, but all these buildings here. I'd much rather have like the beach where like it's nice and like a bunch of forest there. We got our flashcards, our move thing, and our sorting, and then we go to lesson 3, which is our actual questions. Start the quiz. Do we know the answers? Oh, and I guess I should have showed you, you can put feedback for the questions. So like you can say feedback, you can say if you want the feedback to be when it's incorrect, correct, or all the time. So you can say when the feedback is. And you can add a few things here, like when this ends, like what you want it to do, which we didn't do. We didn't create an end. I'll show you how to do that when we get into the settings. Gives me my score, and then there's no exit button, which is really what you'd add. Oh, 40%. That's pretty bad on all those blank questions. All right, let's get into edit mode. So that's it. That's editing of Rise. That's how simple it is to create something. Like that's it. It's literally it. There's not a lot of options, but it's a really powerful piece of content delivery software. Especially because like I can, if I have my course content, like you can like throw something in here like really quick and make it like look nice and professional-ish. All right, so let's go in and talk about the options that we have on the administrative side. All right, so we've got settings. So we can make duplicates of the course and transfer the course. So what I will say, these are just labels of things, like what do I want things to be called? You can see they give you lots and lots of options for things. But what I will say about like collaborators and stuff is I can, so let's say like I do develop the course in my Rise. I can transfer it to someone else's account. They just also have to have an account, but we can transfer the course to them. So that can happen. So we don't usually use my account or any of my developers' accounts. We usually, what we do is we have the company purchase their own account. We develop it in there. But we have done it and we have transferred it to them. And so you can transfer courses from one person to another. We can share the course. I can give people the link, or I can make them a collaborator to actually edit the course. Super easy to do. We can review. So the thing about review, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to publish it and review it, but I just want to talk about what the review is. So with review, one of the nice things that Articulate has that we use with our clients with both Rise and Articulate Storyline is that we can publish a review version of the course. It's basically, you know, the published version. But on the right-hand side, here's a place for them to put comments. So what we like about this is my clients can actually go through and put comments directly on the development file for us, and we can go through and make changes. It's just a lot easier than them like sending an email or printing something out and telling us what needs to be changed. They can go right into the course and review everything. So that's a huge important thing. And then we have our export options. We can export it for an LMS, PDF, or web, but it does give us the LMS option. We can publish to SCORM, you know, XAPI, whatever we want to track it to. They give you some options for tracking. As I said, usually when we're doing quizzes, we always try to put them just in the LMS. We usually don't mess with Storyline, Captivate, or Rise quizzes if the client is okay with that. We just put them in the LMS. And then what kind of reporting, and do we want an exit course link? This is kind of a weird, like there's this more settings, but it's literally one option. That's it. Just put it there. I don't get that. All right, but anyway, reset learner progress. Do we want an option for that or not? And then we would click export. It's going to export the course, and we can upload it to an LMS. It'll actually put it in a file here. There we go. Nice little zip file. All right, that's it. That's Rise. Super easy to use. I mean, you literally create these courses, new course, go into a course to edit it, add lessons, edit the content. I mean, there's not much. It's a simple piece of software. I literally went through here in like a couple minutes, like can go through and show everyone. I mean, there's less options here than there is in PowerPoint. Well, PowerPoint's actually quite extensive because people don't realize it, but it really is. But it's simpler than that. Like it's really easy. There's not much to it. Like these are your options. Like this is it. Like you are limited by their options, but there's a lot of them. As I said, my clients really like it. We've been using it a lot for courses. We've been using it for face-to-face courses as a development tool for face-to-face courses. We've been using it for traditional online, like face-to-face as like the presentation tool instead of PowerPoint. We've been using it for online courses, like online synchronous and online asynchronous, like where a professor's going through Zoom, or not a professor, but like someone in an organization is going through Zoom. And we've been using it for asynchronous, like standalone e-learning modules, depending on the content. But we've been using it a lot when it's appropriate, especially for clients that want something that really is simple and runs on both mobile and PC. This is a great option for it because the fact that it's works so well on the mobile device and looks so good makes it a lot nicer and cleaner than some of the other software out there. So that's my review of Rise. I definitely suggest, if you're thinking about using it, I definitely suggest downloading the trial, see if you like it, play around with it. For those developing a portfolio piece, you got a month, but you probably are going to need to purchase it. And for classes, like there are options for universities and schools to buy multiple licenses for their students. That's what we do, so that my students do have a copy of all the Articulate software. But that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of Articulate in the comments. Let me know your thoughts of Articulate Rise, that is. All right, all. Later.